10 years ago, the Dark Lord invaded the human world. At that desperate hour, 4 brave heroes rose to challenge him. Yet one by one they fell beneath his overwhelming power. But as long as breath remains, hope flickers. The youngest brother, undeterred, charged forward, with fierce courage rekindling his comrades' spirits. The Dark Lord shattered the spider's defenses with a devastating blow, pressing the attack relentlessly. Seizing this moment, Leo leapt into action. He grabbed his friend and, with Suzia's blessing, infused his sword with newfound strength, delivering a slash so fierce it sent the Dark Lord reeling, banished to the salt mines. Yet the demon race boasts 7 lives. The Dark Lord would return, demanding his debt be paid. Now reborn in the form of a child only, Azaria dared to greet him. Others still slumbered, unwilling to awaken. Then Jenny addressed the Dark Lord in his once-favoured attire, though something felt off. Perhaps after 10 years the Dark Lord lacked enough magic to fully mature. But Genia anticipated this, selecting garments that were demure and refined. Next came a maid's outfit, then an adorably cute school uniform, and finally a swimsuit, but the Dark Lord flat out refused, mocking Genia's terrible fashion sense. "Your taste is worse than a demon's," he teased. Then he turned to her, asking about the current state of the world. Genia believed that, with his talents, he might now be ruling the royal family. Yet deeper investigation revealed that Matt concealed his identity from political and social circles, leading the Dark Lord to assume Matt had retreated to the forest in search of salvation for all beings. Eager to reunite the Dark Lord, urged Genia to put the heroic battles aside, for now work was piling up. But the Dark Lord refused to wait. His secretary warned him that Matt was human and would soon perish, advising not to dwell on it. Sensing Genia hid something, the Dark Lord pressed, but she feigned ignorance. Doubt gnawed at him, so he unleashed his third eye, finding comfort in Matt's lingering life energy. Learning Matt was in the capital, the Dark Lord resolved to go, though Genia tried to stop him. But it was no use. Wings of shimmering butterflies burst forth as the Dark Lord soared like a missile, leaving Genia helpless and collapsed in despair. Meanwhile, the pint-sized Dark Lord brimmed with excitement to face his old foe. Soon, he arrived at Matt's home, declaring his resurrection. But Matt, unimpressed, wondered who this annoying nuisance was. The Dark Lord thought he'd come to the wrong place, but Matt insisted he was the real deal and demanded to know why the demons had come. Suddenly, the Dark Lord's heart clenched at the sight of the once holy sword, now nothing but a rusted relic. He snapped at Matt not to touch it. Yet disbelief lingered. This worn-out figure was hardly the heroic Matt of old. Even his sharp V-line jaw was nearly swallowed by a double chin. The two seemed like strangers separated by a decade. Matt accused the Dark Lord of having no right to judge him, and questioned the strange Sailor Moon outfit he wore. The Dark Lord found Matt's room filthy and reeking, taking it upon himself to clean. In the process, he discovered a strange elastic object, which embarrassed Matt into snatching it away. Noticing Matt's computer still running, the Dark Lord mocked him for laziness. When Matt finally asked why he had come, the Dark Lord remembered his mission, and declared boldly that this time he would conquer humanity. Matt, however, remained unfazed, calmly retreating to his bed. The Dark Lord's frustration boiled over. He had awakened early just to witness Matt's terrified state. Curious, he asked what had drained Matt's spirit so completely. Matt revealed that after defeating the Dark Lord, no one needed him anymore. Worse, he received no honour, no medal of valour, and lost his place in the world, left to languish in his current despair. The Demon Lord saw humanity as ungrateful, thinking that in a peaceful world heroes have become nothing but a burden. Yet living as he did, he felt oddly at ease. Curious, the Demon Lord searched online for information about Mark and stumbled upon rumours calling him the Third Wheel. Mark denied these accusations, so the Demon Lord played a video to uncover the truth and saw Mark sweating bullets in fear. Mark claimed he was being framed because she was a hunter who specialized in targeting wealthy heroes. The Demon Lord laughed. Serves him right for flirting everywhere and getting caught in a trap. He also found news about Mark assaulting civilians, but Mark explained he was ambushed by 6 thugs and fought back only to be falsely accused by tabloids. The Demon Lord remarked that Mark escaped her immortal legion 10 years ago and wondered why he didn't run that time. Maybe he was just utterly drunk. Then the Demon Lord found reports accusing Mark of juggling 10 women, which supposedly led to him assaulting her. Yet Mark was partly helpless and partly amused, since he had cleared his name countless times, but still was branded as the Nightmare Holy Hunter. The ridiculous nickname even made the Demon Lord chuckle. Next, he watched an interview where Mark, after defeating him, spoke with pride and humility, thanking his loyal comrades and the people's support. Mark stepped into the spotlight, speaking like a god, ending the interview with a radiant smile. The Demon Lord laughed uncontrollably, but couldn't bear to look at his own past reflected in Mark's. He saw a photo of Mark from 10 years ago and felt disappointment in the man he had become. The Demon Lord asked if Mark still kept in touch with his comrades. Mark sadly said they hadn't met for years because relationships without mutual benefit don't survive. The Demon Lord blamed Mark's selfishness for their departure. Mark urged the Demon Lord to move on quickly, but the Demon Lord declared he would conquer humanity, and Mark supported the idea wholeheartedly. Even when she tried to ambush Mark's friends, he was happy not having to pay debts to Leo. This made the Demon Lord repeatedly plot to wipe Mark out, but Mark delivered a wall-smashing blow. When the Demon Lord woke, he found Mark casually admiring girls and carrying on so embarrassing. Moments later, curious why Mark didn't finish him off, the Demon Lord guessed it was to avoid trending headlines like, "Hero abuses stepchild." The Demon Lord believed Mark was still a hero, because his speed and skills remained sharp, while Mark criticised the Demon Lord's declining power, making it hard for her to sneak attack Leo. So the Demon Lord vowed to rise again one day, and hoped for a rematch, but Mark no longer wanted to be a hero confident that if the Demon Lord reincarnated, new heroes would appear. With that, the Demon Lord bid farewell, but returned that evening with a pile of food, leaving Mark utterly confused. Not wanting to waste a talent like Mark the Demon Lord, decided to stay a while. Mark panicked, unable to care for her, but she declared herself his new caretaker and cooked a home-cooked meal, saying before ruling the world she would master his stomach. The next morning the Demon Lord called Mark for breakfast, but he lay motionless. She feared he was dead, only to realise he was just in a deep sleep. Later, when Mark went out, the Demon Lord wanted to follow, but he refused because of her third eye and horns. Thinking Mark was secretly training for a rematch, the Demon Lord used a transformation spell to hide her identity. Remembering Jenya's words that this was a school uniform, she transformed into a schoolgirl, but her horns peeked out at the slightest slip. The Demon Lord went into town to find Mark buying a snack, and unaware of the curious stares she drew. After a while, she spotted Mark entering a store and quietly followed him to a park. Suddenly, a group of demon kids invited Mark to play soccer. When he refused to let them steal the ball, the leader Mushroom Head kicked Mark's back, but was immediately lifted into the air by him. Mark then taught the kids swordplay moves he once used to defeat the Demon Clan, leaving the Demon Lord helpless at his childish antics. When Josuke's mum called him home, Mushroom Head followed because his mum forbade him from playing with a hero. The girl gifted Mark a bag of snacks and left. Mark ate, and then fell asleep on a bench. Seeing this, the Demon Lord planned to leave, but then noticed some thugs confronting Mark. One thug, Blue Scar, swung a punch at Mark. The Demon Lord feared Mark would fight back and end up with another scandalous headline, but chose not to intervene to avoid dirtying her hands. Blue Scar continued beating Mark until he was knocked out cold, pushing the Demon Lord's anger to its peak. She knocked out 3 thugs with what she called hypnotic powers, promising no harm would come to them. Mark was annoyed she hadn't helped sooner. The Demon Lord apologised, and Mark confessed he no longer acted as a hero, just drank, joked with kids, and did nothing meaningful. Still, the Demon Lord admired him for not fighting back and playfully mimicked his cool attitude, which made Mark chase her for a playful hit. She told Mark to go home and cook, but he went for a walk instead, craving steak. That night, while she was busy cooking, Mark wandered into a home theatre, lost in thought. The next morning, Mark was drinking beer and admiring the view when he spotted a provocatively dressed schoolgirl, unaware it was the Demon Lord. When she returned home, Mark described her as outrageously dressed, and the Demon Lord joined in mock scolding all while they ate. Suddenly the doorbell rang. The Demon Lord opened it to find Xenia, who scolded her for not staying in the castle and coming here instead. The secretary felt hurt because the Demon Lord had promised a quick return and then fainted. Once inside, Xenia devoured the food, prompting the Demon Lord to promise more groceries soon. Mark was curious about the girl and learned she was the Demon Lord's secretary. Skeptical of Xenia's competence, the Demon Lord insisted Xenia was fiercely loyal. She had trekked 3 days through mountains and rivers to get there, enduring stares and ridicule for being Demon Clan. But the Demon Lord suspected it was really her revealing outfit causing the attention. Xenia wanted the Demon Lord to return to the castle, fearing the longer she stayed, the more she'd become like Mark. Blurred, the Demon Lord tells Matt to go home and cook, but instead he wanders off craving a steak dinner. That night, the Demon Lord busies himself in the kitchen, hoping Matt will give up drinking, yet the young man drifts absent-mindedly into the home theatre. The next morning, Matt sips beer admiring the view when he spots a fiery-dressed schoolgirl, unaware she is the Demon Lord. Returning home, Matt describes seeing a girl dressed wildly outlandish. The Demon Lord, clueless, joins in mocking her as if it's the truth. While they eat, the doorbell rings. The Demon Lord opens it to find Xenia. He scolds her for not staying in the castle and coming here instead. The secretary feels hurt because the Demon Lord promised he'd be back soon. Then faints. Once inside, she devours the food, prompting the Demon Lord to say he'll go buy ingredients later. Matt is curious who is this girl. The Demon Lord reveals she's his secretary. Matt doubts Xenia's work skills, but she insists on her loyalty, explaining her 3-day trek through mountains and rivers to reach here. Along the way, people pointed and mocked her as a demon, but Matt suspects it's all because of her revealing outfit. Xenia wants the Demon Lord to return to the castle, fearing staying here too long will turn this town into a demon colony. Yet, the Demon Lord insists on staying to learn how to interact with humans and use this place as an intelligence base. Xenia knows the real reason the Demon Lord just wants to be near Matt. He tells the little demon to take Xenia away, but she stubbornly refuses. When she tries to leave, she accidentally falls onto Xenia's ample chest. Matt quickly apologizes and offers her some tea to sober up, but Xenia punches the cup, shattering it, then turns her attack on Matt. The chaos threatens to destroy the house, forcing him to dash outside, chased by a naked Xenia through the streets, drawing gasps from onlookers. The Demon Lord hears strange noises, unaware they're caused by this wild chase. The two burst into a grassy field, where Matt decides to settle things once and for all. Just as they prepare to strike, police arrive and arrest Xenia for running wild through the streets. Embarrassed, she bursts into tears. Matt explains Xenia is an acquaintance, but got overexcited from drinking. In the police car, Xenia sincerely apologizes. A cop recognizes Matt as a hero who once saved the world and thanks him. The next day, the Demon Lord bows respectfully to Matt, apologizing for Xenia's trouble, but Matt no longer cares. Suddenly, Xenia appears, announcing she's moved into the next room because she can't trust Matt and needs to watch over him. Conveniently, it's also a base to gather info on humans. The Demon Lord declares this apartment the springboard for Earth's invasion. Elsewhere, Retsu watches a video of Matt chasing Xenia and feels deeply moved. But Matt no longer minded. Unexpectedly, she appeared again, announcing she had just moved into the apartment next door, since Xenia couldn't fully trust Matt and needed to keep an eye on him. Conveniently, this also allowed her to gather intel on humans. Meanwhile, the Demon King declared that this apartment would be the launching pad for the Earth invasion. Elsewhere, Rhett watched the chase video of Matt and Xenia unfold, finding it strangely captivating. Earlier, as Matt and Leo searched for rest, a horde of monsters attacked, only to be thrown back by a protective barrier around the church. Inside, a blonde man was manipulating people's minds, selling his self-made protective charms at special discounts to fend off demons. Hearing this, everyone was eager to buy. Upon seeing Matt and Leo arrive, Rhett invited them over and continued boasting about his power to repel the demon race. Leo suspected this guy was running some kind of pyramid scheme, so both decided to leave feeling unworthy to stay in such a sacred place. Suddenly, the demon horde burst through the barrier. Seeing this, Rhett used magic to blast some monsters away, but the rest surged forward, attacking the villagers. At that moment, a young man was still being attacked, despite using charms from Z. Luckily, Leo showed up just in time to save him. Meanwhile, Z was running low on energy, so Matt chased off the demons so he could recover. Leo also joined in, and together they charged into battle against the demon horde. At this point, Genya handed Matt a book documenting Leo's betrayal of the kingdom. Upon seeing it, Matt frowned and walked outside. The Demon King then told Genya that Leo had once been Matt's teammate. Matt planned to visit a movie shop when 2 reporters arrived, showing them the chase video of Matt and Genya and firing 1,000 questions about their relationship. Matt insisted they were just friends, explaining that Genya had been drunk and acting wild the night before. But one reporter pressed him to comment on the Gamma Republic, led by warrior Leo. In response, Matt walked away, and when the reporter followed, he swiftly cut her off. Matt, unlucky as ever, stepped into a puddle, soaking his feet, and had to head home unaware that Z's group was silently watching him. The Demon King brought Matt some clothes to change into, and insisted the young man take off his underwear so he could wash them, reminding him that the first time they met, Matt wore nothing but those. Suddenly, a bell rang, and they both sensed a powerful, ominous magic nearby. Matt told the Demon King to hide. Once dressed, Matt opened the door, shocked to see Rhett there. Rhett asked what Matt's intentions were, but the blonde man accused Matt of being overbearing since they were once close friends and had come to reminisce. The young man casually entered, ordering his subordinates to stay outside. Matt explained the sudden arrival of the Magic Bureau chief meant he had no time for hospitality. Rhett was a bit surprised by how tidy Matt's home was compared to before. Rhett was stunned to see the blazing emissary sword discarded by Matt, kindly offering to store it in the wardrobe. But Matt said it was too big to fit. When asked about Z's true purpose, the young man tossed Matt a folder, then looked at pictures of them together, reminiscing about the days they used invisible barriers to fool the demons. Matt's expression darkened at the reminder. And so, with tension thick in the air, Retsu decided it was time to seriously confront his friend about the Republic of Gamma, a new nation created by Leo just 3 years ago. Retsu revealed the harsh truth: this so-called nation was nothing but a terrorist organization, illegally seizing land. Soldiers, defected social rebels flocked to Leo's banner, gathering there. At this rate, they threatened to shatter the kingdom's fragile peace-sparking war. Desperate Retsu pleaded with Matt. He begged Matt to stand with them, convinced Leo might surrender before bloodshed began. Retsu didn't want any innocent lives lost, neither in the kingdom nor in the Republic. But sadly, Matt was retired. His fighting spirit faded, unable to face Leo head-on. Retsu dangled a new rank and a fortune in front of his friend, hoping to sway him. Yet Matt remained silent, prompting Retsu to snap. Why? How can someone as talented as you waste away here? Retsu pressed, breathless. Still Matt calmly replied, Retsu fighting former comrades goes against my sense of justice. The young man admitted he dreaded the trouble and invited Retsu to leave. The Demon Lord was sharp as ever, but couldn't resist teasing Matt, claiming last night he played tag with a girl, warning him to keep the fun at home next time. The young man was puzzled. He wondered why Matt was so close to a demon woman. After all, if word got out, people would brand Matt a traitor to humanity. Matt feigned ignorance, insisting the girl wasn't demon-kind. Retsu assured him the secret was safe with him, and urged Matt to carefully consider whether to become a hero or a traitor. As the conversation unfolded, Retsu sensed the presence of demon-kind and glanced toward the wardrobe. Quietly, he shut the door. He asked Matt if anything strange was happening, but a demon woman suddenly appeared right behind him. Alarmed, Retsu fled in a frantic dash, vanishing without a trace. The Demon Lord emerged, prompting Matt to ask what Retsu had done. She claimed she did nothing but hide under a blanket. Matt, with his golden hair shimmering, couldn't see her clearly. When the Demon Lord mentioned Matt's comrades, he showed no concern. They all had their own lives now. Even if he intervened, nothing would change. Matt saw the Demon Lord as a threat to himself. Though today they escaped Retsu's pursuit, this ongoing tension spelled trouble. Hearing this, the Demon Lord invited Matt to visit her place. But that would make me a traitor, he objected. Retsu, still shaken, knew he had to attend a meeting on constructing a magic furnace later, so the two friends escorted the young man. Yet Retsu was determined to convince Matt to join the army. Before, when the three of them fought together, Leo was wounded by demon-kind. Jeed used magic to heal his friend. When a demonic sheep attacked Matt, he leapt into battle supported by Retsu from behind, cutting through the essence of the Demon Beast Battalion. Debaka crafted armor powered by her feminine strength. Matt watched helplessly, but was captivated by Deddale, a smart, skilled warrior and mage. But his mood darkened when he learned she was a serpent demon. The Demon Lord also introduced a skeleton companion who irritated Matt greatly. Unsurprisingly, none of the new characters won Matt's favor, leaving the Demon Lord exasperated. She asked Matt about his ideal partner. He said she must be human, not a serpent like Xenia, intelligent and decisive, beautiful with long hair and a slender figure, and a great cook. The Demon Lord shapeshifted into a voluptuous schoolgirl, ticking every box, even though they were eternal enemies. If they married, the Demon Lord would gain an ally. Seeing Matt's admiring gaze, she blushed and quickly reverted to her original form before opening the door for Xenia. Xenia, thinking the Demon Lord was sick with a fever, blushed herself. The Demon Lord explained she was fine. In the past, she was Matt's subordinate and even promised him 7 lives. Sadly, Matt refused to sacrifice his dignity to become demonkind, so they remained foes. Now, the Demon Lord repeated her offer, but Matt's answer stayed firm. So she and Xenia held a seminar explaining demonkind's reincarnation benefits. The first perk light work with high pay and prestige. Matt shrugged, saying he had savings and figured he'd be dead in 10 or 20 years anyway, so what did demonkind's offer matter? The Demon Lord said Matt was shallow, then revealed a starting salary of 480,000 yen per year, with biannual bonuses, raises, promotions, and retirement benefits. As a veteran, Matt would get 5 times that 2.5 million yen. Xenia showed him labor plans in the demon world, a maximum of 5 hours a day. No overtime, 4 days off weekly, and sometimes paid leave without work. Matt thought this was a privilege reserved for castle staff, but Xenia clarified that all government and corporate employees enjoyed these benefits. Society ran smoothly, with comprehensive welfare, guaranteed housing, maternity leave certificates, 200 children supported, and robust health and manner. Even if killed, one could revive by sleeping. The Demon Lord handed Matt a contract to sign, promising freedom from the fears of birth, aging, sickness, and death. Yet Matt kept his cool and declined. The Demon Lord asked what human dignity meant to him 10 years ago. Matt admitted he'd just been bluffing to sound cool. He refused because he wanted to be himself. Becoming demonkind meant losing that. Though changed from a decade ago, living forever sounded like a hassle. The Demon Lord was kind, but Matt regretted turning down such an enticing offer, which saddened her. She blurted out how much she wanted to be by his side. Still, Xenia kept the contract handy, in case Matt changed his mind. Suddenly, the Demon Lord snapped at him. "If you refuse me, make your own plans and don't mention dating me." Matt boldly declared he'd earn more than a demon's salary. Then, he launched a career as a YouTuber. It's said this industry can pull in up to 100 million yen a year. Videos featuring serpents or gaming could hit 1 million views, translating to 1 million yen. Seeing wealth within reach. Matt started live streaming games. The Demon Lord told others this wasn't easy. Data showed videos over 100,000 views, barely covered meals. This job wasn't for lazy people like Matt. Xenia thought the Demon Lord spoiled him too much and wanted to teach Matt a harsh lesson. But the Demon Lord was pleasantly surprised to see Matt focused, completely smitten with his work. Later, she checked on his progress and cooked dinner for him in the evening. The next day, Matt was crushed. His video got 0 views. The Demon Lord watched and heard him stammer and make lame jokes, leaving her speechless. Yet the video still got 14 views, so she encouraged him not to lose heart. Matt switched to reviewing sweets, but was bombarded with criticism. Determined, Matt tried becoming a singer, but was mercilessly roasted and imprisoned by trolls. Undeterred, he moved on to news topics, but was quickly exposed for misinformation. The journey was rough, but Matt refused to give up, embodying the relentless spirit of those who dare to dream beyond the shadows. No subtitle segment 53 in original. No subtitle segment 54 in original. He was struggling with copying others' content subtitles, hard-to-read ads, flooding in a rocky start that crushed his spirit. Ready to quit, the Demon Lord stepped in, urging him to use his unique talents for one last video. If it failed, then letting go would at least bring peace. Always ready to support, the Demon Lord then told him transform into a schoolgirl and start live streaming. On stage, the young man directed her every move. Everyone's eyes locked on the Demon Lord's school uniform, so he told her to stand and let them admire. Views skyrocketed as the chat buzzed with excitement. He nudged the Demon Lord to eat ice cream, but she devoured it so boldly he had to ask her to be gentler, switching to a soft, graceful bite that sent views soaring past 10,000. Suddenly, melted ice cream dripped onto the Demon Lord's outfit. She was about to peel it off, driving viewers wild, and even he swallowed hard. But before she could smile, her account got permanently banned for inappropriate content. This twist crushed their hopes yet again. Their comeback attempt failed miserably. Back in the past, Leo fought a member of the kingdom's Night Order and claimed a decisive victory, earning everyone's faith that he deserved to be a hero. But the young man wasn't far behind, capturing Leo's attention. When the Demon Lord saw him leave, she wanted to follow, but clueless where to go, she decided to visit a clothing store. There, she picked out countless dresses and asked him if they suited her, leaving him utterly confused after all the Demon Lord was originally a guy. Blushing, she said gender didn't matter. Suddenly, an employee arrived and took her to the fitting room. On the way, the Demon Lord wanted to buy more kids' clothes, prompting the staff to congratulate them both. The young man warned her not to say such things, fearing misunderstandings. Later, they shared a steak dinner, then went shopping for groceries. While he pondered what to eat, they spotted a sausage-tasting booth and stopped. The staff praised the young man's girlfriend for her beauty, making the Demon Lord beam. She shook his hand and removed her mask, revealing a familiar face. An old acquaintance, the big sister, wanted to talk privately, forcing him to comply so she wouldn't cause a scene. He told the Demon Lord to head home first and explained that she was Leo's subordinate. The two left, leaving the Demon Lord sulking. The blonde remarked that the Demon Lord was better than his past girlfriends, but he denied it and asked why she was here. The blonde revealed she was actually a spy. Having finished shopping for a mountain of clothes, the Demon Lord worried about his safety and planned to find him. Suddenly, Wynne appeared, saying he would take her to meet Mac. She trusted him immediately and happily asked the young man to carry her bags. Meanwhile, he confided in a friend he hadn't seen in 5 years, the blonde who covered for him aging, while she remained unchanged. He asked about Leo, learning his friend was always full of energy. The big sister said Leo missed Mac dearly, and wondered how he was doing, unaware the young man was living a wasted life. Meanwhile, the Demon Lord revealed that Wynne belonged to the Gamma Republic, a terrorist faction which terrified her. She angrily denied it, blaming the kingdom for banishing them to barren lands. Seeing her pitiful apology, Wynne let it slide. The Demon Lord suspected the Republic wanted to recruit Mac against the kingdom, but Wynne explained he only recruited retired fighters because they had once defeated the Demon Lord. Chaos erupted as everyone scrambled to find her, forcing Wynne to reluctantly help. Hearing this, the Demon Lord scolded Wynne like a high-class critic. At this moment, Matt could be blown away like a leaf in the wind. Matt had just told Tok Vang about the cold invitation to work for the kingdom. Hearing this, Tok Vang seemed eager to lure him to the Republic's side. She handed him a train ticket to Gamma, with a stopover at Chartigo. Once there, the kingdom's agents would safely escort him to the Republic. Matt was wary, thinking the people in Chartigo were cunning, but Tok Vang insisted they were important business partners. She expressed her hope that Matt would join the Republic, so he said he'd think it over. Suddenly, Wynne approached and told Tok Vang that giving such things to Matt was pointless now. The Demon King then shouted, begging for rescue, forcing the boss lady to order Wynne to release the Demon King. However, Wynne wanted to take her hostage to force Matt's compliance. Tok Vang opposed this, saying it would make them no better than terrorists. Wynne explained that the kingdom twisted all information about the Republic, so they wanted to invite Matt and his girlfriend to Gamma, a place far better than the corrupt country they came from. Matt feigned ignorance about his girlfriend's whereabouts, forgetting to mention her, which made the Demon King squirm in fear, thinking Matt wanted to abandon her. Wynne saw Matt as cowardly for not fighting even with his girlfriend captured. He thought bringing Matt to Gamma would only disappoint Leo. But Matt was aware of their existence, so Wynne couldn't free both of them. When Wynne grabbed the Demon King's head to threaten her, Matt shot forward like a bullet, snapping Wynne's arm and sending him for a sea bath. The Demon King hugged Matt, revealing she hadn't used her magic earlier to avoid revealing her identity. So Tok Vang swam out to the sea to rescue Wynne and apologized to both of them. The Demon King, backed by Matt, scolded Wynne as rude, forcing him to apologize before Wynne and Tok Vang left for Gamma. The Demon King promised that if Matt wanted to come, she'd go with him to build a new nation, though that meant challenging Z. The next morning, the boss lady took Wynne aboard the ship to meet Leo. They saw Leo carrying a gigantic trophy and inviting everyone to the guild to see this monstrous fish. Meanwhile, Matt photographed the plane ticket to post online to sell. The Demon King was disappointed that Matt refused to go to the Republic, but that territory was ruled by terrorists, so Matt was uninterested. The Demon King then cast a teleportation spell to the wardrobe, so if danger struck, they could return instantly. She called Xenia to announce their 2-day trip. Matt was reluctant, but the Demon King used an innocent look and illusion magic to bring him aboard the plane. She told him they were scouting the Republic's gamma, not just traveling, though she dressed like she was on vacation. Soon, they arrived, and Matt worried about being recognized, so the Demon King disguised him as an ugly old man worse than herself. She spotted smoke in the distance, fearing an explosion, but it was just a hot spring. While strolling, an older woman offered them steamed buns and accidentally spilled tea on Matt. As they soaked their feet, the Demon King remarked, "This place didn't feel like a terrorist state at all." Matt said they only treated tourists well to make money. She asked why Matt saw the Republic as evil. He answered that, regardless of internal affairs, this place was a powder keg for conflict. Matt asked why the Demon King interfered. She said she was waiting for the two sides to destroy each other, so the demon tribe could invade humanity once again. Suddenly, people flocked to the hot springs, where they saw Leo enthusiastically preparing the water. Since bathing directly in the hot spring was too hot, they added water to cool it to a comfortable temperature. After testing and approving the water, Leo called everyone to bathe. Matt saw Leo was the same as in their first meeting at the tournament. Leo asked Matt if he dared to fight the demon tribe to the death, and Matt boldly said yes. They started a friendly rivalry, neither wanting to lose, but in the end, Leo was defeated by Matt. Still, their bond remained strong. Then Matt and the Demon King started a table tennis match. She tried tricky shots, but Matt skillfully returned them. She then hit the ball, harder, cracking it and ending the game. Afterward, she soaked in the hot water, remarking how much more comfortable this place was than home. The Demon King asked Matt to fetch her a towel because she couldn't walk into the room wet. Matt opened the door and was a bit disappointed to see her back in child form. Later, they ate dinner, took a walk and went to sleep. Early the next morning, they fed the animals. On the road, Tok Vang informed them that the border between the kingdom and the Republic was now off limits, though sea and land transport in other directions remained normal. Matt was relieved she hadn't noticed him, but others feared war was imminent. Seeing the unstable situation, Matt decided to leave. The woman from yesterday appeared again, saying locals were used to occasional border skirmishes, so no need to worry. Hearing this, the Demon King wanted to check the border to gauge the two countries' fighting strength. Since arriving, they hadn't scouted at all. Matt said she could go alone. He'd return home. But since only the Demon King could use instant teleportation magic, he had to accompany her. As they flew up, they suddenly nosedived, causing Matt's teeth to rattle in the wind. The Demon King blamed Matt's weight, but he joked it was because of her delicious cooking. Observing that you saw the kingdom attacking the Republic with repetitive shooting tactics. Win told Leo to relax and fish. Then they retaliated by using smoke bombs to lure the enemy into an eternal sleep. Matt explained this weapon fired magic so anyone could fight with it. The Demon King said if it were her demon army, the stone wall would be like paper. Matt was surprised the kingdom's weapons couldn't break the wall. The bald man thought the enemy must have used advanced magic, like installing a powerful magical device or hypnosis, making it hard to counter. They exchanged attacks, but the bald man devised a plan to fake retreat. Tok Vang wanted them to stay and watch reporting to Leo. After she finished speaking, she was attacked and wounded in the arm. Day tried to stop the bleeding, but was then taken out by the enemy. Tok Vang hadn't expected the attackers to pierce such a thick wall. The locals are so used to border skirmishes that fights between nations feel like routine. Hearing this, the Demon Lord wants to visit the frontier to witness their fighting strength. Since arriving, they haven't scouted once. Matt tells her to go alone while he returns home. However, the round-trip ticket is in the Demon Lord's hands, and only she can use teleportation magic, so he must follow. Suddenly, an earthquake strikes. It's the Demon Lord and Matt flying. But before they get far, they crash nose first into the ground, sending Matt's teeth rattling in the wind. The Demon Lord blames Matt's weight, but he claims it's because her cooking is just too delicious. Watching nearby, they see the kingdom's forces attacking the enemy, but the enemies just follow a predictable pattern. Meanwhile, Win Bao casually fishes. Then it's their turn to respond with a smoke bomb ambush to lure the enemy in. The eternal sleep, they say, is a weapon that fires magic, so anyone can wield it in battle. The Demon King scoffs, saying that for her demon army, that stone wall is nothing but a sheet of paper. Even Matt was surprised that the kingdom's weapons couldn't break it. At this moment, the bald guy suspects the enemy has used advanced magic, like installing a super powerful spell device or hypnosis, making it really tough to counter. Endless back-and-forth attacks aren't the answer. So, the bald guy devises a plan to fake a retreat. But Golden Hair insists they stay and keep watch, reporting everything to Leo. No sooner does she say this than she's attacked and wounded in the arm. Dee rushes to stop the bleeding, only to be instantly wiped out by the enemy. Golden Hair never expected they could pierce such a thick stone wall, and the one responsible. It's none other than the bald guy himself. He needs to gather a massive amount of demonic energy to shoot through that wall and drive them out, allowing the kingdom to finally break it down. The Demon King doesn't recognize the bald guy as a supreme master. Matt says Leo is coming, and the young man charges like a storm, leaps over the wall, and lands right among the enemies, bringing joy to everyone. Leo's nose catches the scent of demons, so he rushes here, but only finds the kingdom's forces. Bald guy tries to attack Leo, but Leo summons a colossal whirlwind that shreds all the soldiers. Leo refuses to compromise with Mop Leo, so he doesn't hold back anymore. Yet Old Man Day threatens to keep fighting. They can't accept peace. Leo is furious because he was taught that no matter how hard the path, giving up is never an option. Suddenly, Bald Guy lands a critical blow to Leo's neck, saying that cold battles have been tough for him. But Leo stands unscathed and challenges him to talk it out. Then, with a single strike, Leo knocks Bald Guy out cold. Next, Leo chases Mop Leo and fires without mercy. The young man is worried seeing the big sister wounded, but she still bursts with vitality thanks for that. Leo had arrived just in time, though they hadn't been able to contact him earlier. At that moment, Leo sensed a demonic aura nearby, but when he got there, no one was in sight. Suddenly, Leo burst out laughing at the ridiculous hairstyle of the young man trying to pull a prank by wearing his pants on his head. The Demon King admired Leo's finishing move and understood why the Republic could stand against the kingdom. But watching Leo carry the team on his back, he wondered how long they could hold out. Curious if the Demon King could defeat Leo, he declared himself ageless and started packing to leave. The Demon King was content with the trip and prepared to teleport back. However, Leo sensed her mana and chased after her, forcing her to retreat. He urged her to teleport quickly, but she couldn't focus on the spell. Realizing she couldn't escape the Demon King had no choice but to stop. Unbeknownst to Leo, who was disguised, she communicated with Matt through their minds, careful not to let Leo overhear, or else their plan would be ruined. The young man asked their identities, so Matt feigned ignorance, claiming he was just passing by. But Leo sensed the mana emanating from the Demon King and questioned Matt's purpose in bringing her here. Both remained silent until Leo threatened that if Matt revealed the Demon King, he would spare his life. She advised him to comply, promising she'd find a way home later. If anything went wrong, the Demon King could resurrect, so Matt shouldn't worry. Still, Matt refused to yield, distracting Leo while the Demon King prepared her spell. The confrontation erupted. Leo and Matt clashed with equal ferocity. Leo spotted the Demon King channeling mana and hurled his spear at her, only for Matt to block it. Like a fierce beast, Leo charged and shattered Matt's fake glasses and nose, yet failed to recognize his childhood friend, the one he once bathed naked with in the rain. It wasn't until the Demon King called out his name, having completed her spell, that Leo realized who Matt was and demanded to know why he had come with the Demon Clan. Matt refused to answer and immediately left. After surviving the ordeal, both returned home safely. The Demon King praised Leo's strength, but joked that facing Matt was like a pig running into a royal flush. Suddenly, she embraced the young man tightly, thanking him for protecting her. She confessed how much she enjoyed the trip, while Matt begged for forgiveness and vowed never to return. Meanwhile, the Demon King called out for Jenya, but got no response. Matt guessed she was probably out shopping, so the Demon King recounted how Jenny had been sent days ago to investigate something. Meanwhile, Jenya was on a mission investigating the Magic Bureau, where Jeff worked a place overseeing the kingdom's magical energy and military forces. Jenya was determined to excel in her task this time. The stakes were high and her resolve unwavering. End of segment. She slipped quietly to the back door, scaling the rooftop with a rope to avoid detection. But her careful plan was transparent to everyone. When Xenia arrived, the door was locked, so she grabbed the tools nearby. Clumsy as she was, she broke the lock. Then, caught by a man's gaze, she swiftly knocked him out cold. As a child, Jenya was taught by the Demon King that humans don't have 7 lives like demons, so she spared the man's life. After subduing another enemy, Jenny Arl climbed through the ventilation shaft and quickly found the computer room. She used hypnotic darts to distract the employee before ambushing him. Then Jenny hacked the company's data tools, but the sheer volume made it a slow process. While reviewing key intel about the kingdom's retreat from the Gamma attack, Rhett suddenly appeared. She threw a smoke bomb to escape, but couldn't fool Rhett, who knocked her out and locked her up. Rhett then stationed Lim outside to guard and question Jenny. Claiming to be a noble demon, Jenny refused to reveal her name to humans. Rhett thanked Xenia for confirming Jenny's demonic nature and asked about her profession and residence, but Jenny, daydreaming, accidentally blurted out her real name. Rhett quickly jotted it down, labeling her a foolish secretary. Feeling stuck, Jenny lied that her master hadn't yet resurrected, and she was only curious. Rhett, sensing familiarity, pulled out a video of Jenny wandering aimlessly on the street, making her scream in embarrassment. Jenny blamed it on drunken loss of control. Rhett warned her about the dangerous back point and told Jenny not to be fooled. Jenny denied any ties to Matt at all, but Rhett suddenly flipped, attacking Jenny and demanding her true intentions. Just then, Lim interrupted with news that Minister DM had urgent matters to discuss. Reluctantly, Rhett left, ordering Lim not to alert authorities and to keep watch over the demon woman until his return. Outside, Rhett spotted Remix hitting on a girl and needed a secretary's reminder before greeting Xenia warmly. Meanwhile, Jenny plotted her escape, but had to pause to use the bathroom, asking Lim for help. Remix, bored, invited Rhett to take selfies, but then shamelessly edited photos to make himself look better. Jenny scolded him not to upload anything online, wary of exposing their location, but Remix was too quick. Noticing Rhett looking worn, Jenny guessed he was worried about Leo. Rhett reminisced about the country's poverty 10 years ago and how heroes defeated the Demon King to bring peace. Curious about Leo's current state, Rhett declared him beyond saving and promised to lunch with Remix another time. While Lim escorted Jenny to the restroom and tended to Minister DM, he also fed Xenia personally. James thanked Xenia for the Republic's bot, though Leo had been utterly beaten. He revealed their faction discovered a large magical ore deposit and hoped the kingdom would deal generously. But such generosity risked the kingdom's reputation, since Leo denied bribery and treason. Leo wasn't a man to take bribes, but his treason was blatant. Rhett believed the Gamma Republic couldn't thrive under such tension. GMS's goal here was peace talks with Gamma, as many citizens sympathized with Leo. They'd never threatened the kingdom except in self-defense, but public opinion worsened. So he hoped both sides would make concessions to end things peacefully. Rhett asked other ministers, and Demek said the elder had agreed, while he'd tried to convince the rest. Demek prioritized halting armed border attacks and needed Xenia's support. At this moment, Xenia pulled out an oil bottle to slip her hand out of the cuffs. Lim caught it and warned her force would be used if necessary, but Jenny, drawing on her inner power, broke free only to slip and fall. Lim's strength surged as he refused to let her escape. Meanwhile, Remix invited Rhett to join his team, and Rhett agreed. They said their goodbyes. Jenny, engulfed in Lim's flames, controlled the heat to avoid harm, intending only to knock her out. Meanwhile, the secretary was relieved all was going smoothly. Demek warned that the real challenge was just beginning with a magical bureau explosion at 4 p.m. Ignoring it, he pressed on, saying the Republic's forces had begun moving. Jenny, seeing Lim injured, wanted to escape, but remembered his kindness and the Demon King's teaching. She treated his wounds and carried him away. Embarrassed to return empty-handed, Jenny wanted to bring something back. At this time, the Demon King brought TV footage of the explosion to Matt, who remained calm, dismissing it as minor. Matt was under the impression Jenny caused the incident, but the Demon King denied ever ordering her. Suddenly, the vengeful Jenny returned, startling them both. Later, Lim woke to see the Demon King. Jenny explained Lim had fainted outside her house, so she cared for him, helping him remember his blackout during the explosion. She thanked the Demon King and silently judged her revealing outfit. Lim wanted to return to the bureau to work, but the Demon King used his power to insist she rest here. Seeing Lim's endless magical energy, the Demon King invited her to work for him, promising great rewards. Using his third eye to control Lim, Matt fed her a whole dish for forcing an illegal contract. Then, all three apologized to Lim. Jenny wanted to take full blame for sneaking into the bureau, but the Demon King said it was all due to her poor guidance, so the confusion wasn't her fault. Matt wasn't involved and urged Lim to forgive and move on. Upon learning that Matt and Zinnia were demons, Lim asked what happened next. Lim slips and falls but immediately unleashes her power, determined not to let Genya escape. Meanwhile, Remix invites Rhett to join his team, and he agrees. They part ways with a farewell. Over there, Genya is engulfed in Lim's flames. Lim controls the fire's temperature and range, planning not to kill Genya, but to lull her into a deep sleep. At the same time, the secretary is relieved everything's going smoothly. But Remek says the second phase is just beginning at 4 o'clock. Suddenly, the Magic Bureau explodes, but he ignores it and keeps moving, saying the Republic's forces have started their operation. Genya sees Lim wounded and wants to slip away, but remembers Lim's kindness and the Demon King's teachings. So Genya heals Lim's wounds and carries her away. Genya feels embarrassed, returning home empty-handed, wanting to bring something back. At this moment, the Demon King brings Matt to watch the Magic Bureau explosion on TV. Matt isn't worried. At this scale, it's nothing to the Demon King. She says she sent Genya there, making Matt think Genya caused it. But the Demon King insists she never ordered Genya to do that. Suddenly, Genya returns arms full, shocking both. Later, when Lim wakes, she sees the Demon King and explains she fell outside her house and was helped, reminding her she passed out during the explosion. Lim thanks the Demon King for the help, but silently judges her for dressing too provocatively. Lim wants to return to the Bureau to work, but the Demon King uses her power to make Lim stay and rest. Seeing Lim's boundless demonic energy, the Demon King invites her to work for her and promises great rewards. When the Demon King opens her third eye to manipulate Lim, Matt scolds her for forcing an illegal contract. Then all three apologize to Lim. Genya wants to take full responsibility for sneaking into the Bureau, but the Demon King says it's all due to unclear guidance, and Matt isn't involved. When Lim learns the Demon King and Genya are demons, she asks Matt what happened. The Demon King performs a tragic act, telling a sorrowful story. Since the Demon King's passing, demons have had no refuge, forced to live in hardship and dust. Fortunately, the kind-hearted warrior Matt helped them without hatred, which moved the Demon King deeply and led her to reform and dedicate herself to society and humanity. She even cries, saying their intrusion into the Magic Bureau was only to learn human work methods. Lim sympathizes with them, and Matt praises her kindness. Lim thinks they caused the explosion, but the Demon King denies it, saying letting Genya carry a bomb was very dangerous. She thought Lim accidentally ignited the gas cylinder, but Lim is sure she didn't, because burning or extinguishing depends on her control. Genya suddenly remembers to give her phone to Lim, just as Rhett calls asking where she is. With Matt's permission, Lim says she's at Matt's house. Rhett wants to connect with Matt and asks why he's colluding with demons to attack the national agency. Matt says they're not doing that, but the Z faction could frame him as the culprit. This worries the brave warrior, Ren, who arranges to meet Rhett to explain everything. At first, the young man wants to go to Matt's house, but remembers the demon woman is there, so they change the meeting place. Suddenly, an unknown number calls Z. He hangs up, but the screen shows the demon woman's image. At this moment, firefighters arrive and find the young man convulsing and foaming at the mouth. He said they didn't do that, but Z's friend could easily frame him as the culprit. This revelation shook the brave warrior, Ren, who arranged to meet Ray for an explanation. At first, the young man wanted to go to Matt's house, but remembered the demon woman was there, so he changed the meeting place. Suddenly, an unknown number called Z. He hung up, but the screen displayed an image of the demon woman. Just then, firefighters arrived to find the young man convulsing and foaming at the mouth. The firefighters murmured about the explosion, fearing it was caused by the Gamma Republic. Meanwhile, at the Pet Kingdom, a conference was underway, with the chief minister discussing the explosion at the Magic Bureau. Raymek admitted he almost got hit by the blast. Jiang Cha said that since Leo left, she knew this day would come, and that this incident would be the perfect excuse for war. But Miedo was indifferent, more concerned about Anhui and the kingdom's people. The council was divided 9 opinions for 10 people. It was hard to reach consensus. Gallego said if war was necessary, the army wouldn't hesitate. But they intended only to assert territorial sovereignty, with minimal fighting to avoid casualties. Yet now, with the kingdom launching a full-scale attack, Leo would likely respond with full force, leading to heavy losses on both sides. Xerox said they wouldn't win against Leo no matter what, so it was pointless to try. Then, Han thought they needed a strategist as sharp as Leo. Knowing Remix was close to Zed, he asked him to persuade Z to help. At the same time, the Demon King and Matt arrived at the restaurant where Ray was waiting. Seeing Ray's pitiful state, the Demon King hurriedly shaved Matt's beard clean. Then, the two entered with Ray to dine together. The Demon King was delighted by the lavish dishes. Suddenly, Ray brought up the Demon Clan incident. He couldn't believe a surviving demon still existed. Matt and the Demon King apologized for causing trouble for Ray. The young man teased Matt about his luck being doubled when embraced by two beautiful women on both sides. Embarrassed, the Demon King blushed while Matt was speechless, because Ray didn't know she was actually the reincarnated Demon King. Matt tried to explain about the explosion, but Ray knew he wasn't the culprit. Because when Genya infiltrated the Magic Bureau, she left traces everywhere. If the young man had done it, he wouldn't have foolishly stayed inside the building. Matt was overjoyed that his friend understood and planned to leave. However, Z forced him to take responsibility. So Matt told the young man to handle it as he wished. The Demon King's all-night antics infuriated her sister, and Ray couldn't believe a brave warrior could be so reckless. Matt explained that Genya was a subordinate of the Demon King, so if she made a mistake, the master had to bear responsibility. The Demon King found this unfair, but was convinced to reveal her voluntary service to Z. He didn't care and spoke seriously that the kingdom wanted to declare war on the Gamma Republic because they dared to commit a terrorist bombing. Matt didn't think they'd do that because the explosion was too mild, so Ray threatened the Demon King if she didn't help, he'd blame her and the demons for the attack, which would help avoid conflict with the Republic. Thus, the young man urged Matt to think carefully, either return as a warrior or become an accomplice of the Demon Clan and live as a criminal. Matt joked he would pack up and move with the girl to the Republic, since it was a paradise with hot springs and even demon ore. A spell granted him a powerful sword, but upon hearing this, Rhett boldly declared him his enemy. Eyes blazing with pride, he boasted of being the hero who defeated the Demon Lord, demanding sincerity if a favor was needed. The blonde guy shot back with a sly jab about his fall from grace, urging Rhett to tone down his bravado. Fueled by rivalry, the two youths plunged into a fierce battle, nearly biting each other's heads off until the Demon Lord intervened with his third eye, forcing them to cease fighting. The Demon Lord then left with the girl, telling his friend to cover the meal's cost. Rhett, seething with jealousy, wished he could poison the Demon Lord's drink. Back home, Rhett suffered terrible stomach pains. It turned out the blonde had slipped a laxative into his alcohol, sending him on a chaotic toilet rampage. "Check my armpits. Is it bruised? That's just cruel." Meanwhile, the big boss read the news reporting that the kingdom blamed their group for a terror attack on the Magic Bureau, igniting his fury. Seeing such dirty tactics, Leo vowed he no longer considered that place his homeland. The next day, Remix showed off his new suit to Rhett, though Rhett saw through the facade and guessed Remix's real motive. Zerad explained that ever since the Bombing Society's hatred for the Republic had grown enriching, Remix greatly through a peace exchange scheme just beginning. Rhett dismissed it as a foolish dream. The kingdom would never let its lands fall to the Republic. As long as Leo stood, they wouldn't be attacked by conventional means. Rhett believed that if Leo vanished, the Republic would crumble. Remix thought only a true hero could do this, but with Matt out of commission and Zujita retired, Rhett confidently claimed he was strong enough to take down Leo himself. Remix shared a story of a once close friend who always outshined him until he exposed that friend's corruption to the world, causing his downfall. Remix climbed the ranks in his place, convinced he did nothing wrong. Rhett said he wouldn't suffer when punishing Leo and planned to storm Thornting alone. "Go get him!" little Rhett Remix cheered, utterly captivated by Rhett's fearless spirit. At the same time, Genya and the Demon Lord granted her more time to complete her mission. The Demon Lord asked about Matt's condition. Though he looked fine, he was stubbornly fine in the worst way. Matt cried his heart out, worrying the Demon Lord. It turned out he lost a boat race bet and was broke by 90,000 yen. Forced to ask the Demon Lord for money, she generously gave him 50,000 before Genya stepped in to stop her. Later, the Demon Lord told Matt to watch the news, where the government announced an offensive against the Republic. Some citizens wanted Matt to massage their faces because the culprit was a former teammate. Hearing this, Matt declined and wandered off. The Demon Lord followed to keep watch, knowing Matt might burn cash on horse racing again. The Demon Lord wanted to know where Matt planned to go, but the young man refused, saying it wasn't a place for company. Suddenly, the kid from before appeared, calling the Demon Lord Ram Ram. Miss much to her annoyance. The kid convinced Matt to play badminton, though he was reluctant. The Demon Lord saw this as a chance to keep him away from gambling, so Matt reluctantly agreed. They played, but Matt kept losing and got teased mercilessly. While hitting shuttlecocks, Matt asked about the girl's mother and learned she was about to have a baby. The Demon Lord congratulated her, and the girl handed the racket to her. Matt said they were just playing casually, trying not to reveal his strength to the kid. At first, their gentle game was light-hearted, until the Demon Lord asked if Matt planned to let Leo and Rhett massacre each other. That angered Matt, who struck harder, insisting those two had nothing to do with him anymore. The Demon Lord matched his intensity, neither willing to lose their fierce exchanges, leaving the kid wide-eyed in awe. Then, they started exchanging insults telepathically, as if preparing for an earth-shaking battle. Just then, the girl gave Matt a candy, saying she had someone who wanted him to teach her how to play badminton properly, like just now. Matt stared thoughtfully at the candy. Meanwhile, Rhett led troops to the Gamma Republic. An old man warned him not to act alone. The general said they were blocking reporters to avoid unnecessary casualties. Irritated, the old man declared himself the real commander here and promptly got grilled alive by Rhett for nagging too much. Rhett admitted he knew the man's position was shaky, but didn't care, determined to march on Thornting. Leo knew the fortress walls had been magically reinforced, making the kingdom's weapons useless to move them. Seeing no challengers, he realized the fortress was abandoned. Rhett agreed, calling it a smart move. Guarding it would be pointless. Suddenly, Rhett's men demolished the wall and ordered no one to cross, then swiftly flew away. A female reporter covering the area suddenly witnessed a series of explosions. Remix was watching too, hoping Rhett would win and wipe out the Republic. If Rhett lost, Remix planned new terror attacks to blame the Republic, cutting off their aid and plunging them into hardship. If Rhett died, Remix vowed to find a replacement. Suddenly, the secretary panicked, reporting that Leo and Jeff's battle was being broadcast live despite media blackouts. Wynn threatened to shoot Rhett, but Rhett immediately knocked him out cold with a stick. The cameraman saw the takedown and was outraged, while Lim, isolated from social networks, couldn't watch the live stream. Remix freaked out and demanded to hack the channel, but the broadcast spread too fast. Other ministers were furious, blaming Rhett's orders for the chaos, though he stubbornly stuck to his decision. It turned out 2 reporters sneaked into the forest to livestream and set up thousands of fake accounts, making deletion impossible. They saw Rhett looking at the wall, but not destroying it, guessing he no longer cared about the kingdom, and intended to settle the score with Leo. This was hot news no reporter could ignore. When Rhett met Leo, he mocked Leo's thick hair. Earlier, Leo had warned his allies not to provoke Rhett, but they ignored and got beaten badly. Leo recounted a recent clash with Matt, praising the young man's incredible skills. No one cares, but Old Man D is determined to move forward. Leo knows the wall is being reinforced with extremely strong magic, so the kingdom's magical weapons can't budge it. Strange that no one comes out to confront them. Bald Guy says this fortress has been abandoned. Rhett thinks it's wise since guarding it is pointless. The young man then obliterates the wall and orders no one to cross, then flies away. A female reporter covering the area suddenly sees a series of explosions. Remix watches and hopes Rhett wins, wiping out the Republic. If Rhett loses, Remix will trigger terror attacks and blame the Republic, cutting off their support from Tigo and plunging them into hardship. If Rhett dies, Remix plans to find a replacement. Suddenly, the female secretary panics, reporting that the battle between Leo and Jeff is being broadcast live despite media blackout. Meanwhile, Wynn threatens to shoot Rhett, who immediately knocks him out cold. The reporter sees this and is furious someone filmed it. Lim, isolated from social networks, can't watch the live stream. Remix is frantic to hack the channel, but the spread is insanely fast. Other ministers are angry, blaming DM for ordering Rhett's actions, baffled by his thinking. Yet D stubbornly sticks to his decision. It turns out 2 reporters sneaked into the forest to livestream, secretly preparing nearly 749 accounts to spread the feed. No matter how hard they tried to erase it, Rhett couldn't be wiped away. Everyone had seen Duron, yet no one dared to destroy him. It seemed Rhett no longer cared about the kingdom. He was ready to face Leo in a life-or-death showdown. This was hot news no reporter could ignore. The moment Rhett appeared, he mocked Leo's thick hair. Earlier, Leo had warned his two friends not to provoke Rhett, but they ignored him and got beaten badly. Leo recalled how recently, not long ago, he clashed with Matt, and the young man's skill was as formidable as ever. Seeing Duron turning away, Leo drew his sword, unleashing his strength. Refusing to back down, Leo summoned a towering mountain of stone to create their battlefield. Both vowed to bury their rivalry beneath the earth, all under the watchful eyes of ministers and spectators from every corner, including Matt himself. In the past, Matt's group was wiping out hordes of zombies when Zusia appeared. She came to witness the faces of heroes praised by all, but upon seeing them, she sneered, calling them mere novices unworthy of Leo's standards. Leo believed Jura's magic was even more profound than Rhett's. Suddenly, she declared her intent to defeat the Demon King and advised the others to go back home and drink their mother's milk. The next day, the three encountered another zombie horde, which Jura swiftly annihilated. By nightfall, when demons besieged them, she appeared again to save the day. Later, they gathered around a fire inviting Jura to join, but she didn't respond. The young men claimed the demon tribe they fought earlier was just insignificant pests. They promised to come to her rescue next time. After all, without her intervention, they would have been toast. They urged her not to distance herself since they were comrades, but Jura paid no mind and walked away. Soon after, as she ventured into the forest, a pack of demons surfaced and Jura swiftly wiped them out. Then the leader attacked her, matching her strength blow for blow. He offered Jura a chance to reincarnate as a demon, but she flatly refused and threatened to end the Demon King instead. Enraged, he summoned a horde of zombies to strike her down, knocking her far away. At that critical moment, the unstoppable trio arrived too. Back in the fray, Leo charged forward, wounding Rhett. He grabbed Leo, landing a critical blow. Using sacred talismans, Leo healed himself on the spot, remembering how many times his friend had saved him before. The young man wondered why Z8 fought alone without bringing Duccia along. Leo shot back, telling him not to get cocky just because his teammates hype him up like a king. He admitted he didn't think that way, knowing his limits. But Rhett didn't buy it. After all, Leo had founded the Gamma Republic. Leo explained that when he arrived in this dog-eat-dog land, only a small band of followers stood with him to explore. They struck gold when they discovered veins of magical ore and hot springs, but the kingdom repaid them with betrayal, plotting to seize everything. Furious Leo lunged at Rhett, who countered with a devastating strike and a blinding light technique. He said it's normal to work hard and not be rewarded. Leo wasn't backing down either, slicing Z1's shoulder with a lethal strike. Rhett's fury boiled over, declaring the endless war Leo sparked would never end. But Leo was convinced he could end the cycle and awaken the kingdom's people. Jeff mocked him, saying that would only happen if the whole world was as pure and honest as Leo. Meanwhile, the Demon Lord watched a live stream, marveling at Leo and Rhett's unyielding strength after 10 years. If this kept up, they'd all be out of the game soon. She tried to convince Matt to join, but the young man wasn't interested. Matt grabbed her roughly, warning that even if she went there, she'd accomplish nothing. He couldn't harm either of his two friends. Frustrated, the Demon Lord said her goodbyes and spread her wings to fly away. Meanwhile, Rhett and Leo kept clashing, neither gaining ground, until suddenly the Demon Lord landed, with a thunderous crash stunning everyone. Then she flew over to Dron, greeting humanity and announcing her full resurrection. The young man showed no interest, tired of the Demon King's endless babbling. Matt grabbed her roughly, shouting that even if he came, he wouldn't be able to act against his two friends. Hearing this, the Demon King resigned, bidding farewell as he spread his wings and flew off. Meanwhile, Rhett and Leo were still locked in fierce combat, neither willing to concede. Suddenly, the Demon King descended abruptly, stunning everyone. Then, she flew over to Duron, warmly greeting all humanity and announcing that the Demon King had been fully resurrected. Matt was shocked beyond belief, and the reporters were furious at the Demon King for interrupting the match and messing with their precious hair. Leo confided to Zusia that the Demon King was the one who had accompanied Matt earlier, surprising her since it was their first meeting. The Demon King declared that on her resurrection day, she would bathe her two warrior comrades in blood, then created a massive black hole aimed at them. But the attack backfired, hitting the Demon King herself and sending her crashing down. Yet she recovered swiftly, radiating lethal intent that felt strangely familiar to both. She warned that Matt's brothers were wreaking havoc, and if he didn't arrive soon, they'd be doomed. Rhett immediately struck the Demon King for talking too much, igniting Matt's fury. Furious that his comrades were hurt because of her, Matt grabbed his greatsword ready to charge at the two reckless youth. Meanwhile, Leo and Rhett continued their relentless battle, unleashing peak skills and counter magic to tip the scales. Matt, now fully armed and mounting his warhorse, looked incredibly cool until his bike chain snapped, causing his songbird to smack the saddle and scream in shock. The young man foamed at the mouth limbs, frozen right after the bike was fixed. Then he shot off like a blazing comet, leaving everyone in awe. Defying every law of physics, he soared straight onto buildings, harnessing the wind to fly. Even the Indian mages bowed in respect. Meanwhile, Rhett and Leo were battered and bruised, yet these two hot-headed youths kept taunting each other mercilessly, as Lim silently prayed. Back in the day, Rhett had to rely on Sister Thuong to patch up Leo after every fight. This annoyed the young man so much that Rhett gave Leo a talisman to block enemy attacks and warned him not to cause trouble anymore. Jura thought Rhett had a good heart but a sharp tongue, while Leo was too carefree, always touching, poking, and pushing Rhett's patience to the limit. Despite their constant bickering, their bond remained strong. Julian hoped that if anything ever happened between them, Matt would step in to mediate. Meanwhile, Shara watched Matt's battle without a care, ignoring the fact that her own mother was facing execution. Reporters and onlookers didn't know who the young man soaring overhead was, until two students recognized Matt and were shocked to see he'd turned into an old man at the royal palace. At that moment, Matt, candy in hand, regretted coming here. Elsewhere, the minister was being interviewed about Z's sacrifice to protect the kingdom. He said it wasn't just Z who had to fight, the entire royal army was ready for battle. The minister vowed the war wouldn't harm the people's interests, but when he heard Matt had confronted Z and Leo, he was stunned. Meanwhile, the old lady rejoiced, thinking Matt would stop them, but the blonde guessed Matt wouldn't obey royal orders even if victorious, so she let it be and continued watching. Leo mocked Matt, asking if he was here to be the kingdom's hero. Rhett snapped back, scolding Leo for overestimating himself, claiming he could never harm the kingdom. Leo fired back, saying even if he was their enemy, he'd fight to protect this place. The two traded insults fiercely until Isio yelled for silence. Exhausted by their endless bickering, he wished he could just take them both out to save his sanity. Matt's declaration sparked the blonde minister's anticipation for a bloody showdown. Leo, hot-headed as ever, complained about people acting like they knew everything, but he didn't care what anyone suffered, he just liked stirring the pot. This made Leo realize Matt hadn't come to help Rhett. Still, the three had no choice but to face off to decide the winner. As they spread out, Rhett launched an attack on Matt, who used his dragon-slaying sword to shatter Z's magical barriers. Seeing this, Leo charged at Matt, exchanging sword strikes, and even kicking him away before diving into a fierce close combat. Meanwhile, the ministers crossed their arms, watching the fight unfold, thinking this was the karma for the chaos the trio had caused. Leo pressed his relentless assault, but Matt quickly regained the upper hand, rushing toward Leo with all his might. The young man stubbornly dodged, only to run the wrong way, giving Leo a perfect opening to land a critical slash. Just as Leo was about to finish Matt off, Rhett reappeared, attacking both of them and mocking Matt's pathetic current state. Matt slyly admitted that after 10 years, his body wasn't as agile as before, which Leo used to tease them that they were actually the same age. Rhett, however, believed a half-baked hero like Matt didn't deserve to live, and decided to deliver a devastating blow that completely knocked Matt to the ground, shocking everyone. Powerless and knowing he stood no chance, Matt recalled the time their group fought the Demon King. When exhaustion hit, Matt urged him not to give up. Leo scoffed that Matt was all talk since their swords couldn't cut the monsters and their spells were weakening. Hearing this, Leo said, "Leave the hard stuff to me," only to get scolded by Rhett for always having to fix Leo's mess. Rhett could only use his magic a few more times and blamed his friends for rushing into battle with the Demon King, leading to this mess. Even A had smacked him for nagging. Still, she supported Matt's resolve to fight to the end. Since Jura's spell no longer worked, she poured all her power into creating a magical candy and tossed it to Matt. This candy contained limitless energy from Jura, but was one-time use only. She urged Matt to use it wisely to decide the battle while he still could move. When the Demon King struck, Leo stepped up to shield Matt, charging forward to finish him off. Back in the present, Matt desperately tried to reach the candy and swallowed it in one gulp. Instantly, his power surged beyond limits. Seeing Jura's image, Leo scolded her for meddling. Jura told Matt to finish off their foes, while he still could, apologizing that she couldn't help, as she was about to give birth. Despite everything, Jura believed Matt could smash those two into dust. As Rhett prepared his move, Matt lunged forward, striking him away, and frantically breaking all of Z's magical circles. The young man stubbornly cast more spells, but each one shattered against Matt's blade. Even Rhett's protective shield was blasted apart. Leo charged in to fight Matt, soaring through the air in a breathtaking duel. Meanwhile, Wynn tended to the Demon King's wounds, nursing her as he lay unconscious. When the Demon King awoke, he asked about Matt's condition, just as Leo knocked Matt away. The Demon King wondered why Leo defeated him before activating his full power, only to be silenced by Matt's sharp rebuke. Rhett berated Leo for cooperating with Matt from the start. Maybe then they wouldn't have had to slaughter each other. But even if Matt beat them, it wouldn't change anything. Furious at his foolish friend, Rhett admitted he was a fool himself, as Leo and Matt prepared their finishing moves. Suddenly Leo burped unexpectedly, after Rhett caught him off guard. The young man summoned a giant energy orb to end the fight, but luckily it was stopped by the Demon King's power. Matt seized this chance to knock out Z. Hearing that his and Juria's spells were weakening, Leo declared, "Leave the hard stuff to me." But Rhett scolded him every time Leo ended up needing healing. Now their spells only had about 4 or 5 uses left. Rhett blamed his friends for recklessly charging headfirst to challenge the Demon King, landing them in this mess. Even A had given him a stern warning for nagging so much. Yet Mart stood firm, determined to fight to the very end. With Julia's spells no longer effective, she poured all her power into crafting a single candy and tossed it to Mart. This candy held infinite magic power from Julia, but it could only be used once. She urged him to use it wisely to decide the battle's outcome while he still could move. As the Demon King struck, Leo stepped forward to shield Mart, charging ahead to deliver a decisive blow. Back to the present, Matt grabbed the candy and devoured it fiercely. Instantly, his strength surged beyond limits. Leo, seeing Julia's image appear, scolded her for meddling. Julia had asked Mart to finish off their foes while she couldn't join pregnant and unable to fight, but she trusted Mart to crush those two. Just as Rhett prepared his final strike, Mart lunged, striking him back and frantically shattering Z's magical barriers. The stubborn youth kept summoning more magical rings, but Mart sliced them to fragments. Even when Rhett conjured a protective shield, Mart blasted it away. Seeing this, Leo joined the battle. The young man effortlessly dodged falling rocks and soared into an epic mid-air duel with Mart, an exhilarating life-or-death clash. Meanwhile, Wynn tended to the Demon King's wounds, who lay unconscious. When the Demon King awoke, he asked about Mart's condition. At that moment, Leo struck Mart away. The Demon King was puzzled. Why did Mart defeat him before his ultimate power expired? Mart snapped at him to shut up. Rhett blamed Mart for not cooperating from the start. Maybe none of them needed to slaughter each other. But even if Mart won, nothing would truly change. Furious, Rhett called his friend foolish. Yet, he admitted he was a fool too. As Leo and Mart prepared their finishing moves, Leo suddenly vomited, ambushed by Rhett. The young man then created a colossal energy sphere to end it all. Luckily, the Demon King's power stopped it. Seizing the moment, Mart knocked out Z, but the magic wore off, leaving Mart utterly exhausted. Still, he dragged his two friends before the camera and bowed, deeply pleading with everyone to forgive them. This humble act shocked all. Mart kept begging for peace between his friends, his voice filled with hope. The Demon King smiled contentedly, celebrating Mart's victory by treating him to a lavish feast. He even handed Mart a bottle of wine, asking him to open it only for the wine to spill everywhere, silencing even the spirited demon. Mart ate so much his belly looked 9 months pregnant. Bewildered by the Demon King's cooking, Mart was scolded as useless. The Demon King teased Mart's belly fat, making the young man yell he wasn't fat. The demon ate like a dog with a grudge, wishing he could kill them all. The Demon King proudly declared that Mart saved the region, changed the kingdom's fate and the Republic's future, all thanks to Julia's help. Feeling shy, Julia leaned on Mart's shoulder. Suddenly, a chill ran through her as the Demon King insisted on cleaning up the food. Knowing Genia would eat everything if invited, he still wanted her there. Weak as she was, Genia stayed to protect the Demon King. She even threatened Mart if he kicked her out, no fancy dishes or delicacies for him. The true gentleman Mart couldn't resist such temptation, so he allowed the Demon King to settle in. In the spirit of celebration, Genia wanted a beer and promised no repeat mistakes, but Mart didn't trust her at all. But she panicked and came to apologize. Genia confessed she'd used her computer to analyze Magic Bureau data, but made a foolish mistake that deleted everything. The Demon Lord didn't mind and forgave her. Genia thought they were celebrating the Demon Lord's birthday, so he showed her a scene of him pleading for help, which led the kingdom to agree to let the Republic become an autonomous region. Everyone was grateful to the hero, and Genia's spirits lifted too. Meanwhile, Leo was chopping trees at lightning speed to clear the way, earning respect from the soldiers. A blonde-haired man brought tea, inviting everyone without discrimination, because now the Republic was an autonomous region of the kingdom. He was surprised since they originally wanted independence, but didn't want to make a big fuss. They just wanted to protect their land. The blonde was thrilled that both sides would build the road to the kingdom together. The upcoming expedition would bring many visitors to explore the hot springs, which held the power of magic or that could give radiant skin. Leo paused his work to rest when his two friends called him District Chief, but he refused, feeling unfamiliar with the title. Wynne was shocked. Leo had once been seriously injured, but now was so strong. Wynne wondered if Leo could beat Z in a fight, but Leo thought winning was pointless. Without eyes, he couldn't have brokered peace between the two countries. So, from now on, they would pour their efforts into building a better place. That night, Rhett was frustrated seeing Max's videos flooding the internet, but Lim believed everyone knew Max had risked his life fighting for the kingdom. Lim shared secret documents he had found shocking the young man. Suddenly, a grotesque image of Max appeared, unsettling Rhett. Even more, the low quality and copied content made it worse. One clip even advertised sweets linked to Max, making people want to boycott the brand. Then came a scene of the Demon Lord eating ice cream, with a demon girl appearing that triggered Z's psychological trauma to the extreme. Lim was drinking with Baldy Ann, proud to show Rhett something interesting, expecting gratitude. But Zay was deeply disturbed as the demon girl reached through the screen to grab him. The bearded minister opposed granting Gamma autonomy, but the white-haired one argued they couldn't betray the people. Yet he still resented that the magic ore vein had been sold cheaply by Chatago. Remix warned him not to be so greedy. Meanwhile, the old lady was delighted to see Max still bravely fighting. The rest of the ministers, 9 or 10 of them, had mixed opinions. Remix shifted focus to Zed, and everyone blamed him for refusing to destroy Don. One minister couldn't forgive Rhett for injuring his well-mod captain. The blonde also pointed out that he had the noble protector of the kingdom, yet all the glory was claimed by Mark alone. Even the elder lady spoke up to defend him, but everyone knew he'd be stripped of his rank. His own contributions were denied, and he no longer cared to argue. When Whitehair mentioned the explosion from before, Rate's sharp words only poured fuel on the fire, blaming it on a magical experiment gone wrong. Goldhair tensed, recalling her earlier claim that the Republic was responsible. Whitehair hinted slyly that Rate might have done it on purpose, which made him chuckle bitterly. These people always pushed the blame onto him. Before he could say more, the police arrived to arrest Demek, shocking everyone. Remix denied causing the explosion, confusing the officers who arrested him on suspicion of embezzlement. Documents had been sent worldwide revealing large sums from the Magic Fund transferred into Demek's account, and it was all confirmed true. The other ministers scorned Demek, trying to pin the blame on Z, but to no avail. Before heading back to the station, Remix couldn't help but jab that he and his team were lucky to survive and even stopped a war from breaking out. Rate harshly called Remix a despicable profiteer exploiting the conflict. Remix replied that the true beneficiaries weren't just humans. Then, bidding farewell to Zid, he left. The ministers saw Demek's arrest as a rotten apple. Rate asked if they also suspected Demek caused the explosion at the Magic Bureau, but Whitehair dismissed it as an accident. Hearing this, Reet understood and decided to drop the matter. Goldhair thought Reet might reveal the embezzlement scandal, but he stayed silent. Suddenly, a young man burst into laughter, recalling Demek's ridiculous antics on video, leaving everyone speechless. Since the ministers had witnessed Demek's misdeeds, they unanimously agreed to appoint him as the new Minister of Magic. Meanwhile, the video exposing Demek spread far and wide, and reporters swarmed to interview him. Using his deep internal power, Demek escaped. Jura looked at them with a judging gaze. Suddenly, Chong wanted to watch the baby, so she went outside to play badminton with her daughter. By evening, Demek, exhausted from evading reporters, returned home. The Demon King decided to cook a powerhouse energy meal for him. Out of nowhere, Demek snapped and chased both her and Xenia away, claiming the Republic's troubles were resolved, and he had lived more meaningfully than before. But the Demon King thought Demek was still too weak, and insisted on staying to care for him. Xenia also stayed to protect the Demon King's safety. Xenia even threatened Demek that if he sent her away, he wouldn't get to taste any luxury dishes or delicacies. As a true one-minute boy, Demek couldn't resist such temptation and agreed to let the Demon King stay. 10 years ago, the warriors group took one last photo together after overcoming countless trials to purge evil and restore peace. Now it was time for each to walk their own path. And so, the anime draws to a close. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your comments to support the channel and help us improve our content. Your thoughts mean the world to us,